Well, hello again, everyone. Scoons Comics here with another exciting, thrilling comic book haul! Always clapping. Yes, it is that magical time again, boys and girls, where I show you some comic books and you are all so excited to see them. Almost as excited as I am to have them and show them to you. But first, since I was discussing Captain Strangelove in a previous video, again, great YouTuber, please check him out, Captain Strangelove. He always starts his video either eating or drinking something, usually tea, perhaps some milk, the milk of the day. He's an eclectic fellow, highly enjoyable. Anyway, I happen to be drinking coffee as I started this video, and I was going to obviously not drink coffee on camera, but you know what? I'm going to. Coffee of the day. I can feel the new viewers coming in. The thumbs up, the comments, bring them to me. Coffee of the day. Dunkin' Donuts, delicious. Highly recommend. Okay, so, even though I said comic book haul very loudly, I do not have a comic book haul this week. Instead, I really wanted to highlight one of my favorite series that is criminally underrated. I never hear people talk about it nowadays, and I see these books abused and battered in quarter bins, and that is Secret Origins. Secret Origins. From DC Comics, 1986. A little backstory here. Roy Thomas, was Stan Lee's right-hand man. He's the second editor-in-chief at Marvel Comics after Stan. Great love of Golden Age characters and all things superhero, frankly, through the Silver Age of comics. He started working at DC Comics doing a book called All-Star Squadron and then Young All-Stars, where he was basically taking all of the old Golden Age characters from DC that were not being shown love and was showing them some love. Gave them a place to be, gave them a team, fleshed out their stories a little bit, and he came to DC and said, what if there was already a Secret Origins book in the 60s. He wanted to bring it back. What if we bring back Secret Origins? I can give spotlight to some of these characters. DC said, okay, that sounds great, but we want to throw in the modern characters as well. Great. And off they went. Series ran for about 50 issues, and just a phenomenal run. At first, when I heard about this series, I thought it was just basically reprinting the origins of these characters. Oh, no. A lot of these characters didn't even have proper origins. Roy Thomas and some others, depending on what the character was, had to completely write these things from scratch. It's amazing. And all of these origins, so it's not just reprints at all. It's new artists, new writers, reinterpreting the origins of these characters, and it's done with such love. Even if you don't care, on the surface you don't care about these characters, they're all one and done. They're all great stories. They're all treated with respect. It's origins of couldn't be on the surface wacky looking characters, but it's treated with respect. It's someone created this, and where do they fall in the universe of all these other more popular characters? Your Supermans, your Batmans, your Wonder Womans. It's great. It's a great series. I highly recommend picking it up. But you got to find them now, because they used to be all in the quarter bins, and now I'll still find some, but they've been in the quarter bins a long time. The pages, a lot of them are out of the bags and boards, and the pages are getting dog-eared and ripped and chewed apart. No good. So the very first issue of Secret Origins was Secret Origins #1 from April of '86, Secret Origins of the Golden Age Superman. Okay, this makes sense. Superman started it all, right? So you'd start with Superman. Except, this is really weird, because in DC Comics, so there's all the separate Earths, the multiverse in DC Comics throughout the years. Earth 1, Earth 2, Earth 3, Earth X, Y, Z. There's tons of Earths, tons of different characters in all these places. So they just done this giant crossover, Crisis on Infinite Earths, and brought it all down to one Earth. There's only one Superman. There's only one Batman. So it's weird that they start with the origin of the Golden Age Superman when at the same time John Byrne was doing the new origin of Superman and modernizing it, so to speak. So it was really an odd choice. It's a great story, but if you just look through the history of comics, what was going on in 1986, very strange. Seems kind of counterproductive to want people to be like, pay no attention to what we've done in the past. By the way, here's a series spotlighting what we did in the past. This is a great story. Wayne Boring does the terrible last name, I know. Does the art on this. He was a great Golden and Silver Age Superman artist. To bring him back to do this story, amazing, great book. So I'm just going to show like the first dozen or so of this book, and I'm going to go through the series and just shine a spotlight on these books because they're so good. And if you're a fan of comics at all, you really need to own this whole series. So then we had How Do You Follow Superman? With Secret Origins #2, Blue Beetle. Blue Beetle has had many different incarnations over the years. There's a Golden Age version, there's a Modern Age version. So we have 2 origin stories here done by the late great Len Wein and the late great Gil Kane, one of my favorite artists. It's good stuff. It's a wonderful story, tying these characters together. It's great. We had Secret Origins #3 featuring Shazam, which still drives me insane. He's Captain Marvel. This is Captain Marvel. Legal rights be darned. This is Captain Marvel. But the whole legal mess, which I won't get into, he's Shazam here. At one point, the most popular character in America, his comic was outselling Superman. Amazing. So this is his origin, lovingly told by Roy Thomas. Roy did the majority of the writing for the Golden Age characters. Very cool. Issue #4 featuring Firestorm, the Nuclear Man. Firestorm's a really interesting character in an amalgam of a scholarly professor and a teenage boy. College-age kid, I suppose. Early 20s, I suppose. And they formed this one individual, Firestorm. So they got the original creator, Jerry Conway, to come on board to retell the origin. The origin had been told before from the kid's perspective. This time we told it from the college professor, Professor Stein's perspective. Very cool book. So here's where Secret Origins really starts to shine for me. Secret Origins #5 featuring the Crimson Avenger, which is a throwaway character to most everybody. But historically, this, as it says right here on the cover, DC's first masked hero. The Crimson Avenger was first published in Detective Comics, God, I didn't write it down, 20? I think it was Detective Comics 20 or 21. A good 6 to 8 months before Batman made his appearance. So the first masked, non-superpowered hero in DC Comics is the Crimson Avenger. And he had no origin. None. So Roy Thomas had to just completely come up with one from scratch. And it's a lot of fun. It's very much in the vein of like The Shadow. But very cool. Very, very cool thing to have. And so also, I didn't mention before, each and every one of these issues has in the letter column a long article by Roy Thomas talking about the origin of these characters. What was going on with the creative team at the time. What was happening. Why this character was the way it was. It's just history of some just real unique and wonderful characters. So then we had Secret Origins #6, featuring the oddest pairing of all time, the Golden Age Batman and Halo. Halo is a character, a more modern character, was in a book called Batman and the Outsiders. Yeah, never really took off. And Batman, of course, is Batman. He got the creative team here of Roy Thomas, Marshall Rogers, and Terry Austin. Rogers and Austin had a big run on Batman, so it was nice to bring them back, tell the classic origin of Batman. Always fun. Great book. Then we had Secret Origins #7 featuring Green Lantern and Sandman. This is one of my favorites to run too, because we have a Green Lantern that I usually can't stand in Guy Gardner very obnoxious character, but his origin is given more weight here, and he's not just portrayed as, I don't even know, just kind of a whiny punk is how his appearances always come off at first, but this gives him some depth. And then this is also kind of an unofficial sequel to issue number 5, because we have the origin of the Golden Age Sandman, which also didn't really have a proper origin. So Roy Thomas fleshes it out here. And this origin also ties into the Crimson Avenger. He makes an appearance here, as do several other Golden Age characters. Starman, I believe. Roy Thomas at the same time is writing All-Star Squadron and Young All-Star. So he's always kind of using this to piggyback into stories that he's telling there. But you don't need to know those stories to enjoy these. These are all standalone, read and enjoy. Wonderful. Oh man, how many more are we going to do? This is only number 8. We'll do a few more. Secret Origins number 8, featuring Shadowlass and Dollman. Boy, if I'm the publisher here, I'm looking at this and going, we're putting out a comic book featuring Shadowlass and Dollman? Yeah, probably not the strongest. You probably wanted to do something similar to what you did to last issue, where you had Batman and then one of these lesser characters. But still, this is fun. Shadowlass, I really don't recall much about. Paul Levitz, an artist, or a writer I really enjoy. Tom Mandrake did a great run on the Spectre, but I couldn't tell you anything about Shadowlass. I've read these, but this did not stand out to me. Dollman was an old comic from a company called Quality Comics, that went out of business, and DC Comics acquired all their characters. What's fun about this is Murphy Anderson is the artist on Dollman, and he really begged to get this assignment because this is the comics that he grew up with, the Quality Comics, Dollman. And to be able to come back and tell the origin story of these characters that he grew up loving, big treat for him. And he has a little note in this issue where he explains that. And it's just really sweet. It's just nice. It's great history. Secret Origins number 9. We kind of lose steam here at 8 and 9, and then it picks back up for some more fun stuff. Secret Origins number 9, featuring the Golden Age Flash and the Star-Spangled Kid, or as he's called now, Skyman. Yeah. Fun book as well. All Roy Thomas. Roy had updated the Star-Spangled Kid because he never cared for the name and other aspects he'll talk about here in this issue. And he becomes Skyman. I suppose that sounds better. I don't know. But still, just history and fun book. Then we got, boy, if you're going to own any of these, you need to get this. This is my spec out of these books. You need to buy this issue because at some point, this is going to be hot. Secret Origins number 10, featuring the Phantom Stranger. The Phantom Stranger is a really interesting character, and he's just a mysterious character in DC Comics. He would just show up wearing this long trench coat looking cape thing and his little fedora, and he would just show up at random times in DC Universe history, had mystical powers, could reveal things to characters. The scope of his powers and abilities is never quite clear, right? And in keeping with that, DC did a really cool thing here. They get this whole issue is devoted to the Phantom Stranger, and there's 4 different origins in here. It's choose your own adventure. Which one is the origin? Are any of these the origin? It's awesome. Plus, one of the origin stories is written by Alan Moore, the great Alan Moore of Watchmen and pretty much everything else he's ever written fame. Amazing. So this is a really cool book. At some point, if you're speccing, DC Comics is going to get their film division straight. And at some point, this character is going to play a big role because he's too cool not to. And then suddenly you'll see people pulling these books out and putting them on their high dollar walls for big money. Right now you can find this on the cheap. Get it. It's so cool. And if you don't want to spec on it, it's just an amazing story. 4 stories. Pick it up. Oh boy. So, okay. Secret Origins number 11. The Golden Age Hawkman and Power Girl. This is where it even gets screwier because, again, the Crisis on Infinite Earths has happened. There's now just one DC history. There's one Earth. Yeah, done. So Power Girl here in old DC history is Superman's cousin, Supergirl. They in the new DC universe, there's only one last survivor of Krypton, that is Kal-El, Superman. what are we going to do with Power Girl? So they totally changed her origin in this to tie her into Hawkman, mystical mumbo jumbo, whatever. So just completely changes the character's origin. Fascinating. Just cool stuff. And Hawkman here, I know that they wanted to try to get Andy or Adam Kubert because their father Joe Kubert was so closely tied to the adventures of the Gold and Silver Age Hawkman, but didn't work out. Which is a bummer because I'd like to see that. Issue number 12, featuring the Challengers of the Unknown and the Golden Age Fury. The Fury was a character that was featured prominently in the All-Star Squadron book. Challengers, created by Jack Kirby and Joe Simon. I would have loved to have seen either one of them be attached to this, but instead we have longtime Kirby assistant and biographer Mark Evanier, I don't know if I ever said that last name right, writing this story, so that's pretty cool. Boy, I'm going pretty long here, 16 minutes, oh geez. Secret Origins number 13, featuring Nightwing, Johnny Thunder, and the Whip. This is a cool book, a long look at Rick Grayson, if you follow comics now. So that's really exciting. Johnny Thunder. The Whip is my favorite in this because it's a Golden Age character, very much clearly meant to be Zorro, right? But the character's name is Rodney Gaynor. In the retelling the origin, he suddenly becomes Rodrigo Gaynor. No more Rodney. Rodrigo. Very cool. Last but not least for today, issue 14 featuring the Suicide Squad. I love this book. This book features the origin of the Suicide Squad, the Silver Age version, which is very different than the modern version with the movie and everything. So well done, the story by Jerry Orway. Orway, what am I talking about? Ostrander. Joe Ostrander. Boy, I can't think of these people. Too many names. Joe Ostrander. Very good book. Really fleshes out Amanda Waller's character. I love this comic. It's a great, great book. Pick it up. And that is all I have today, people. I will be back hopefully next week with part 2 of this series. And yeah, it's great. I love these books. Pick them up. Go find them. Please hit the like button, subscribe, leave comments. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all soon.